Hello, welcome everyone. Welcome to the chat show where we talk about empathy, employment, and innovation with global leaders from the staffing industry and from the disability community. In today's show, we have this amazing global leader from Accenture, Nedra Dickson, who is a managing director of Global Supplier Inclusion and Sustainability Lead at Accenture. And I just learned from her that from her role of managing the supplier inclusion and sustainability in 18 countries, she has just accepted additional responsibilities of managing procurement in other 30 countries. With that, Nidra, welcome to the show.
Thank you so much, Nish. I'm so excited to be here. So I'm ready. Let's get it going.
All right. So I know you, Nidra, as me and Hethel and Rangam team knows you as a really truly the supplier diversity queen. You are a true champion of the supplier community and really making an impact, and you are a true connector between suppliers and corporations. So, and as a supplier, we know that how difficult that role is, or that role can be, because you are really doing the matchmaking on both sides and really helping suppliers really thrive and grow. And during this time, especially, it is very important. So we thank you for all your amazing work you do at Accenture and truly globally supporting and partnering with the suppliers.
Thank you. Thank you again. I'm so excited, and I really want people to really hear our story together, because I think the message today is going to be around collaboration. And I really want to tell that story of what we've been able to do in this space.
Great, thank you. And so with that, Dija, you have been doing this for years. I think almost over 20 years at Accenture. So as a true global leader, passionate about the supplier diversity, what brought you here? What is your why? Tell us a little bit about that.
Wow, what a great question. What's my why? I think, with Accenture having so many employees, we're at about 509,000 employees globally. One of the things that you're able to do at such a large corporation is create opportunities that might not be there. And as I've been in our consulting side and came over to our global procurement, and I report into our Chief Procurement Officer, Kai Noasel, who is based in Frankfurt, Germany. So that tells you the global landscape. There was an opportunity once we started looking at all of our procurement spend that we could really do more with our diverse suppliers. And so about 4 years ago, I was brought into this particular role to really grow this practice on a more global scale. And so when I took this role over, we were about maybe in 8 countries. And so now we have the capability in 18 countries and growing. So I'm really excited to continue to expand this as we go into other geographies, and we'll learn about what's the definition of diversity in other countries.
Yeah. No, that's a perfect segue to this, my next question. So tell us, as a supplier, this diversity means a different thing in different countries. So what is your experience, and how do you see country to country as well as company to company, it varies when it comes to diversity?
Absolutely. If you even start with the title, and in my title at Accenture, it's Global Supplier Inclusion. And so the one thing that you want to start creating is an inclusive marketplace. And what I mean by that is, if you go into Australia, then you're going to look at how do you work with the indigenous owned businesses there. So it's going to be that misrepresented community or that underrepresented community. And you look at Aboriginal owned businesses in Australia. You'll look at small, medium enterprises in the UK. So as I mentioned, our CPO is based in Germany. We look at immigrant owned businesses. that is the underrepresented community in that particular country. So we don't really say the word diversity, but it is really important that you look to how can you create an inclusive marketplace. And that's going to include everyone, not only when you think about gender, but how do you think about all the different communities that come together and can be represented to have an amazing economic inclusive marketplace.
Yeah, and that's so amazing that what Accenture and under your leadership, what in terms of disability inclusion. Also, would you like to share a little bit about some of the initiatives, like as a supplier? How do you see Supplier and Accenture's partnership?
Oh, I love it. And I can even tell our story between Accenture and Rangam, because I think that's such an important story on so many different levels. And it also shows how corporations can get together and collaborate, as Accenture did with Bristol Myers Squibb. And we work together to understand the importance of empathy, to understand the importance of the having disability-owned businesses work in our supply chain, as well as having people with disabilities employed in the workforce. So I think knowing all of that and showing how we collaborated together, all three of us, is so important. And what Rangam was so open to doing, Nish, and I love telling your story, is because you listened to what Bristol Myers and Accenture wanted and what we were looking for, and you got together to find that need that we had. And we placed some very amazing autistic people in some technology roles where many people would think that someone who is autistic could not fill that role. So we got a chance to dispel all of the myths around the ability to do this. And I'm very happy to say those people are still working in technology level roles, and really, they are achieving. They are continuing to achieve to the next level. So I think when suppliers are looking to work with large corporations as an Accenture, you've got to be willing to listen where the need is and be willing to try something different. And the way that Rangam came in about empathy is just something that we were able to leverage and continue to grow with our clients. So I think at this moment, I need to say thank you, because what you brought in is something that we're continuing to build on. So thank you, Nish.
Thank you, Nedra. And that's truly a partnership. The way we see how Accenture really trusted Rangam's capability, and we were able to deliver the result together as a team. So that is just amazing journey for us also. Learning from Accenture and the team at Accenture and BMS, that how really we can innovate and try different things and make it work together as a team. So we thank you for the opportunity to partner with you. Talking about disability and disability in, we know that Accenture CEO has joined with Disability In, and other CEOs with and given this $1 billion commitment. Can you please share a little bit more about what that commitment is and why that is important for not only corporations but also for the disability community?
Absolutely. What Jill Houghton has been able to do with Disability in such a short time frame just really shows the commitment that not only the nonprofit organization Disability In wants to do, but how the corporations want to come in. So about 25 CEOs of major corporations, and including Julie Sweet from Accenture, who signed on really early to not only help with other women-owned businesses, minority-owned businesses, but getting on board to make a really inclusive marketplace. So we are so committed to hiring people with disabilities into our workforce. And as I just said earlier, into very technical roles that everyone is capable of doing, but also making sure that we are working with those businesses that are owned by people with disabilities, as we call DOBIes. So disability owned business enterprise is so important that corporates not only talk about it, but really sign up to do it. So we wanted to make sure that we were in, that we were ready, and that we're going to be that partner leading the way to create those jobs, to create those opportunities, not only in the US, but to do it on a global basis. So I tell everyone here that's on this webcast, that's listening, are you in? Are you in to be ready to create an inclusive marketplace? Because one other thing, Nish, Accenture did some research about a couple of years ago, and we did research showing what companies were leaving money on the table by not employing people with disabilities. Yes, there might be some learnings, there might be things you need to change, but that's the whole point of having one inclusive marketplace. And that's where Rangam has been so good, is to help us know those steps that we need to do to create the right work environment for someone to work in. And it's just been amazing. So if there's any other corporations that are not in, come join all 25 of us, including Accenture, to employ these businesses, employ people with disabilities. You will not be disappointed at all.
So Nedra, this is the passion. This is the reason people on LinkedIn, they reached out to me and said, oh, we love Nedra. We would love to join this session. This is the reason. This is who really you are. So we thank you for your passion to work with the disability owned organization and really making an impact on the supplier network. Talking about now that reminded me of Nedra, who jumping over the fence, the partition between the highways, and join me and Randu on one of the roundtable discussion at DA4S. That was just amazing. And so tell us a little bit. How about that? Please share. What was that? What happened that day?
Oh my gosh, that is something that no one should ever try again. And if you guys know Randu Vincent with Bristol Myers and you, Nish, when you ask to be a part of something, you know that it's really special. So you guys reached out to me to be on this panel, and I'm like, this is great. I flew into Newark Airport, and again, making it so easy for me. The panel was at the Marriott Hotel right across the street. I literally could see the hotel from the airport. So, I'm like, this is great. I'll just walk over. So I'm starting to walk, and I'm like, wow, I don't see a way for me to get in. So I'll just jump over this railing. Oh, I jumped over. Here comes all of these cars at me, which I then learned it was a freeway, interstate. So I run fast and I get over there and I'm like, I'll never do that again. But I walked in, and just as I did, it was an amazing panel. We had some great questions. And what I really loved about that was that we created awareness to so many corporations that didn't understand how pharma and people with autism and a big technology company like Accenture work together to bring such a great story and success of all of the people we work with. So I would tell everyone, don't jump over the railing, but if Nish comes to you and asks you to participate, know that you're going to get great results.
Thank you, Nedra. And me and Hetal, we have seen this live in action, and we were like, wait, that's Nedra? Anyway, that's a passion. So we appreciate that, and that's why they love you. So thank you for everything. Moving to the next topic, I wanted to ask your views: supplier diversity to workforce diversity, which now we are all talking. A lot of leaders are, and you also mentioned the $1 billion that commitment. So how is supplier diversity and this is connected, or how do you see that coming together for the organization?
If you do see the increase of a lot of corporations making a commitment to have a more diverse workforce, and Accenture is one of those. We are not proud of our numbers, and that has kept me here for the 19 years. Is the transparency is that no, we can do better, and I mean no, we're not where we want to be, and yes, we can do better, and so we are putting out those goals as well to increase a diverse workforce. And I think supplier diversity comes into that because people want their communities to reflect what they look like. And again, that's where your supply chain, what you're buying, what you're procuring, also needs to be as diverse as your workforce. So I think it's becoming this happy marriage of having the diverse workforce, getting not only gender equality there, but also getting African Americans, Hispanic, and other indigenous groups that need to have that representation in the workforce. But then when you go home, you want to see your communities reflect that diversity as well. And so supplier diversity plays a very significant part in ensuring that our communities that are just as diverse as our workforce. So I am so excited to see both at the forefront of everything, because it's creating that awareness of such amazing people and the great things you get to see by having diverse inputs, diverse ideas. That is what makes you a successful corporation or a business.
Yeah. So that diverse idea from the suppliers or Adobe's disability owned business enterprise, how how do you see their role, helping Accenture's and other organizations, their mission to help suppliers, diverse suppliers? What should we as a supplier community should consider and look into so that we can be a true uh, partner in your initiative?
Yes, I think a couple of things. One, I think the suppliers need to be a little patient with a lot of the corporations, because we don't always know what we need or what we want. And I think that is the importance of that collaboration or the co-innovation. And I say that even with Bender Consulting, which is Adobe certified business, we're working with her to get some learnings in our e-learning systems on how to train our employees on empathy, or how to make sure that our offices or even our home offices are set for people with disability to be able to work in a safe environment. Again, where I love what Rangam, what you guys are doing is, training such major corporations on how to place the right people in the right roles. And that is something I think all suppliers can really think about, small, medium, or large. Look at what can you do to really help that corporation succeed. No matter how small you are and you see a large corporation, talk. Brainstorm together, do ideation sessions together, because we might not know what we need from that business. But I think once you have those discussions and collaborate, there's something that's going to come out that's going to change the world.
That is so beautiful. Then that is so true. And I think one of the major the point which you have mentioned that we have learned as a supplier is that trusted partnership, and putting that efforts and nurture that relationship and build that trust, and then sky's the limit. Then ideation to go to market, companies and corporations like innovative corporations like Accenture and others, they are open, they are waiting for those opportunities to tap into through this partnership with suppliers. So I think that trusted partnership and that relationship is very important, and that's something which we have experienced.
Yes, I mean, I think it's great. It's that authentic relationship, right? And that takes time to develop, and that's exactly what it is. It's that trusted partnership.
Yes, and that takes time. That takes a lot of efforts and a lot of conversation. So, but hey, who knows? During the COVID period, we have seen that we all have become a better human. Means that's truly that has been our experience. So tell us, how is that different, and how are you having your conversation with your supply base during this time?
Oh, I try to find the positive in everything. And I definitely have to say thank you to all of our healthcare and frontline workers for everything that they've been doing during this difficult time. But what I've been so excited is to see that how many of our suppliers have taken that pivot. We talk about that word, but suppliers were actually doing that. You see suppliers, small businesses, large businesses that stepped in and really helped corporations when we didn't know what to do during COVID. And whether it was helping us have safe locations, definitely with our face mask and sanitizers, any PPE equipment, but again, mental health. That was another one that was so important that a lot of our suppliers could really come in and help everyone understand. We're now just going. I think Nish, you and I were talking about it. It's call after call. It's movement after movement, the same location. We do have to take the time to think about our mental state and our mental well-being. And a lot of our suppliers were able to come in and really help us understand how to navigate this new world that we're in. And so in COVID, I've just really seen procurement come to the front. I've seen diverse suppliers come to the front. I've seen so much collaboration where you've seen airline companies get together. You know, we're getting together, working with a lot of our competitors and clients. It's really made us slow down, and it's really made us work together. But suppliers have really been life-saving in many instances in COVID.
That's great. And this is something you just touched a little bit. I would like to ask you a little bit more detail if you can share your thoughts. The procurement, supplier diversity, diversity inclusion, HR, talent acquisition, this whole ecosystem is a large global organization with 509,000 employees. This is a very complex ecosystem. And what have you seen pre-COVID? That partnership and all this, what is changed in last few years when it comes to diversity inclusion and supplier diversity related discussions within the organization?
I think if you look years and, pre-COVID and even years before that, people saw, diverse workforces or supplier diversity as a nice thing to have. And, oh, it's okay. We have one diverse company. We're good. We have one diverse person in management. We're great. Now I think everyone is seeing that it makes business sense. I think we're seeing that having different ideas come to the table drives results. I think we're seeing that small, medium, diverse businesses can be innovative. They can really help you reach your end goal. And I think the key to all of this, Nish, is that now we're seeing that we can work together. Because a large corporation's like, no, I don't need to work with a small business. We're good. Now I think you're seeing that we need to work with small businesses. We need to work with diverse owned businesses. And that to me is what's created a better ecosystem. Whereas we thought, oh, it's nice to have. Yeah, I don't need that. It's imperative. It makes perfect business sense. If you're going to be sustainable for the near future, you must have a diverse workforce. You must have a diverse supply chain. You must collaborate together, and you must co-innovate together to be sustainable in the future.
No, that is so true, and I share the same message or similar message when it comes to hiring people with disability. That needs a little bit of nurturing. Similarly, when you hire or when you bring in the small supplier, that needs a little bit of handholding. And we have personal, Rangam has experience of that, getting that nurturing from Accenture through the mentorship program. Amazing, amazing program. And that's really truly game changer. That's where companies like Accenture and under your leadership, so tell us a little bit about that program. That has been amazing journey for personally me, Hetal, and Tracy, learning from that program at Rangam.
Oh, thank you so much. And that is one that is so near to me because what we call our DSDP, so our Diverse Supplier Development Program, that is a commitment of 18 months, but we take the time to partner you with the right Accenture executives. And the goal is always to help you grow your business by giving, a very tailored curriculum that could be sales effectiveness, how to hire and retain top talent, cybersecurity. And what I love about it is we get the opportunity to customize to what's going on in the market. So as you can imagine now with COVID, our next class will definitely be around how do you survive a pandemic? How do you diversify your options? But I think what really is important at that is that the supplier in the mentoring program focus on getting better. And that's, as you guys becoming one of our proteges of the year, is the fact that you focused on the learnings from your mentors, taking that learning and applying it to your business. And that is what each person should see out of a mentoring program. You didn't want to say, let me get a contract with Accenture, let me get a contract with someone else. That will come in time. But what you did that's so well that I wish a lot of diverse suppliers would do is take those opportunities to learn in the mentoring programs, learn how you can apply all of that to your business. And by doing that over the 18 months, that's how we came up with the partnership between us and Bristol Myers Squibb, which now we have a footprint to grow on. Yeah. And now when we talk to other of our clients and other corporations, we can now tell them how we were able to start out small with Rangam. And now we're looking forward and talking with Lainey Blodgett. I just talked with her yesterday, and we're looking at how can we expand that to other clients as well with Rangam. And so I just want to say thank you for really, being engaged in the mentoring program, because there's so many corporations that are now starting mentoring programs for diverse suppliers. And I want to say, everyone, take the opportunity to get involved in those, but really focus on how you can apply those learnings and don't just hone in on a contract. That will come.
That is so amazing. Let me tell you my experience or our experience at Rangam from that program is learning the theory is one thing, and practical experience, working, conversation with the global leaders and learning from them in actual real environment. Amazing experience. So we thank you for all the nurturing and what great work you do with the supplier base. So we thank you for that. Now we have maybe one more minute. I would like to ask you one key question.
Yes.
Where is the future of supplier diversity headed?
Wow. I don't know how I can answer that in 1 minute, but I really think now with everything that's going on, the future of supplier diversity is definitely on the path of growth. But I think technology and humans together is really going to be important for supplier diversity to grow. The other thing I think where supplier diversity is headed is growth and awareness. And I think what's important now and that COVID has allowed for us to do is to bring awareness to supplier diversity. Many people didn't know that small, diverse businesses could really bring so much to the table. And supplier diversity really has to take hold of that, grow the diverse suppliers, and corporations are going to have to collaborate together. And for the for the future of this to keep going, co-innovation and collaboration is the key.
Co-innovation and collaboration. Thank you so much, Nedra. Thank you for your wisdom. Thank you for your amazing work. We would love to continue this conversation. Wishing you all the best. I heard and learned from you that in September you have taken this additional role, and in near future you are going to move to Spain. So wishing you and your family and everyone all the best with that transition. I know you are going to really continue changing, truly changing the world. So we thank you for that. All the best. And thank you, everyone, for joining today's show.
Thank you so much, Nish. I really appreciate it.
Thank you, Nitra. Take care.
Bye-bye.
Bye bye.